Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM20. It's career mode. We're on episode 166. We're at Omloop Het Nieuwsblad. And it's been a pretty hefty race already, even though we're just now heading into the more difficult bits of this race. The undulation is about to increase for basically the hilliest sections of this race. But also we're heading into the majority of the cobbled sections, just two of them behind us so far. We already caught up to the breakaway, but then immediately new breakaway riders taking off, including some real contenders. So we do have in that group just ahead of us 1 minute up the road, 7 of them now all together. There are contenders in that group, so we've got to watch out that they do not ride away from us. At the moment, Jumbo Visma and Ineos involved in pulling that back, and you can see that gap's come down a little bit already. Also, thanks to that injection of pace, you can see we are starting to suffer a little bit of fatigue. 78 is enough for a blinking red, and as we head into these sections, we really need to keep tempo up, as we don't want to get split off on these punchy cobbled sections just ahead of us here. So this one's only 2 stars, but it's 1.3k and uphill, so that's going to do some damage. I've got a better Classics team than anything we've had before. We've, for the longest time, only had 2 riders with any sort of cobble rating. And then last season we added Gio, but he was still very much a diamond in the rough, waiting to happen. This is much more intense here, just 800 meters, but it's 4 stars and much steeper. So we're now up to 4 riders, and Gio has developed quite a bit, and you can see there's a big split in the field as just 49 riders are left in the peloton. The gap to the front 7 is about the same. And we continue on now into the late portion. Oh, Killen. What happened? Killen was right there and protecting a rider, but his cobble rating was so weak that he ended up getting dropped. All right, well, he's out, so I can't send him to get water. He was the natural choice for that. So Moreno, last time to get water. And then we've got a bunch of cobble sections coming up ahead of us. 74 in the peloton. Oh, it's back together. It is back together. Bad timing on that, too, because that means Moreno has to drop much, much further back to get that water. Oh, amazingly, he does not, though. He doesn't drop that far back. And here we go. Here we go. It's on. Just one section here. It's longer, but it's also flatter. It's this next group. The next 4 cobbled sections are going to be the decisive cobbled sections for this race, and that's where we need to be full bore. Now, Killen, you can see just how quickly he lost energy and is once again out the back, and a lot of riders out the back. They're trying to regain contact at the moment. Front group. Okay, this is it. This is on. 40k to go. And yes, here we go. We're going to start the action right now. We're going to try to lift out of this again later, but for now, we need to set this up for a run. I think Gio might be our guy today with that excellent rating. I want a strong rider behind him. And then we want Monotoglu totally on the back, just getting the free ride as he's a great sprinter. And if he's still alive, he's still alive, and that's awesome. And then we're going to follow our leaders, Telford and then Jorgensen, unfortunately, on a -3. Those are our top cobble ratings. And then we'll push Moreno, and I want to push him hard. We want to get to the front of this, and we don't have long because we're going to turn this corner, and it's steep. And there you go. 99, Moreno. 99. Pull your team through this thing. Well, that was good because we just linked up with these guys, and we're going to push out of this, and all of a sudden we've got a small peloton, and we've got our team in place other than Monotoglu missing out. And if that happens, that's okay, because if we suddenly have a small group at the front after these cobbled sections, that's a-okay with me, because we'll leave behind all the sprinters. And if Monotoglu misses out, I've still got Gio, I've still got Liechtenstein, I've still got contenders. Okay, red bar's gone for Moreno. He's done his work. We're going to move on to Jorgensen coming out of this one. Down to 57 now. Let Moreno push up. Push up. 26 riders. 26 riders. This is perfect. Moreno's done. He did his job. He did it well. Jorgensen is going to be really good through here, so we don't want to push quite as hard. We're down to 24. This is ideal. This is what we were hoping for, because I've got a large contingency of riders in a small group. Okay, we've got a little break till the next section.
That's another rider with a flat tire. The road is really treacherous.
Jorgensen has a good flat rating, so he can push for a little bit here, but not too long. And he is done. On to Telford. Coming up on that last cobbled section here in a moment. Let's check in now. It's down to 21. Moreno was the one who was dropped. And those riders are so close, those 18 riders. Jorgensen, try to grab onto the back if you can. I don't think he can, actually, but here we go. Here we go. Final big cobbled section. 4 stars, 2.5 kilometers. So with a good bit of push here from Telford, this is going to do some damage. You can see we're splitting off some riders, and we're going to open a big gap behind us down to 17 now. Okay, 99 for Telford is his red bar is gone, so it's going to be a slightly lower pace than what it was, but he'll bury himself a little longer, and we're down to 16. Telford still has a little bit left here. Let him recover. Tischminut, Duel, Vanderpool. Keep some pressure on this team. However, I do not have a lot of energy. Telford, can you try to sit on just a little bit? He's still got just a hair of, it's like 1% left yellow bar. We'll see. When that red bar just suddenly drops off, that's when he's out of energy, and that's when we then go on to Gio to just sit in place. 16 riders. Telford, try to get onto the back end of this thing. 17K to go, and heart rate's going to come down a little bit, but Amanatoglu and Telford are both struggling. Liechtenstein is struggling, and actually Gio's our fast man left. We should switch this up. We're all 99s, right? Not quite. Telford, there you go. Okay, we want protection. Amanatoglu does not have anything left in the tank, so just it's going to be Liechtenstein and Telford. So let's protect those two. Give them a little bit more for a final run-in. If somebody attacks, we're going to have trouble responding. We'll have to bury Amanatoglu. Here comes the attack. It's Duel.
Attack with the finishing line within reach.
And with 11K to go, Gio and Liechtenstein are now recovering. This is good. This is good, but he's also opened up a bit of a gap.
There's now just 10 kilometers
And we
left.
got some guys burying themselves trying to keep him close. And late on, you can see how tired he is now. He's not opening that gap any further. Well, he's added about 3 seconds, but recovery is on for our guys with 9K to go, and we're going to push this thing to start the chase here in just a moment. Especially before the cobbled section, because we can pick up a lot of time on him there if he's tired. So, now we reset Amanatoglu. Damn, I want to... You know what? Let's give it a shot. Gio, we're going to technically ride for Gio, and if Amanatoglu has anything left, we'll give him that shot. Liechtenstein's going to lead out, and Telford's going to push us with his 80 cobble rating through that cobbled section coming up, which means we can't have him die just before it. So we don't want to go too hard too fast. We want to just be getting to the front of this by the time we enter that cobbled section. Here come the attacks. Here come the attacks, and there goes that gap. So Duel. That's why I wasn't too worried about him. But Telford, I wanted to get us through the cobbled section. You can see that he's already using up all that energy before he hits it, unfortunately.
Crossing a cobbled section
But
is a
he did give us a little push. It's
That's
so
why some
short.
specialists don't hesitate to reconnoiter a
3
route
point,
several times,
3K,
because
3K.
each
Here we go.
section has its particularities.
3K,
And on some
Liechtenstein
sections,
pushing,
it is make or break
Tischminut
if he
attacking
goes
too
without the right
early. He's
strategy.
not going to have anything
It's
left. You can see he's
survival
only a
of the
few
fittest,
meters
and
clear.
evolution doesn't seem to favor those
2K
in
to
the
go.
rear. There's a growing list of riders left behind.
And on to Gio. 1K to go. And Amanatoglu's not going to have anything left, but Gio's going to push. He's going to push, and he's going to win this thing. Yes, he is. First win for Gio, ahead of Vanderpool, ahead of Asgreen. Beats out Duel, who only is able to claim 6th place. Kept him close enough. Zeta down there in 10th. Bloom Levy, one of our big targets that we haven't been able to get, down there in 11th. Amanatoglu grabs 13th. Liechtenstein 15th, Telford 16th. But even though it was only one rider left in the end, the other three combine, bury themselves, and Guillaume does get there and claims victory. We set off on our first two sponsor objectives of the year, two major races that have varying profiles stage by stage by stage and always overlap with each other every year. And on this particular year, we're getting both of them as objectives. But also, not only are the stages varied, but the objectives are going to vary. Now, these two races, it's Paris-Nice, Tirreno Adriatico. For Paris-Nice, we're looking for a stage victory. For Tirreno Adriatico, we're going to be looking for a high GC position. So that made things a little easier on me for deciding who was going to go to which race. So my top climbers are all at, and time trialists are at Tirreno Adriatico, which is going to start a few days later. And then here for Paris-Nice, we have our punchers and a couple of sprinters, a little bit combination in there. So race day conditions going to be a factor in kind of who's riding for what, but here on this opening stage of 8, we get 8 opportunities to get that stage victory. There's a small chance today. We have a single cobbled section, but it's right on the approach to the finish. It's only 1 star, but it will have an impact. It's also a punchy finish. So the cobble section does not eat up the whole thing, but it's definitely going to take up some of the time. My mouse pointer go. There it is. All right, so cobbled right up towards the finish line, but very punchy. So you don't need a major cobble rating, but you want a little bit of a cobble rating in your guys. And you can see the pace today. There's never been a proper breakaway. The breakaway was caught, and the Peloton has been really pushing throughout, and you can see we're down to 86 riders without ever even having a breakaway. This is just one of those race of attrition kind of days, and you can see we've protected our leaders well. Johnson, Guillaume just not on it, -4, -2, and a -3 for Rakevich. Rakevich is nearly done himself. Johnson's already kind of clocked out on this one. They're still here, but we can definitely see that things are, the end is nigh. 17K to go, and I'm going to have a 4-man break. Cook's been the one riding solo, so he'll be leading things out, and then Moreno, and then we've got Eric Butt and McKinney. Now, Butt's the one you want to push for. He's the punchiest, but McKinney is the quickest, and he's a little punchy. He's on a 0 for the race day conditions, so he's not looking great for that. I'm not sure he'll be there, especially with that cobble rating either. So with this number of riders remaining, I might have to just burn McKinney and straight up ride for Eric Butt for this one. He's got 72 cobble today. He's got an 81 hill. No Kevin Vermark. He was supposed to be here, but he is injured. He'll be back later this week from that injury, so he'll be available for the next race, but not now. From here, we're gonna descend down and then go into that final climb. So this is the time to make things happen with 11K to go. We need to get these guys out into the open air and push. And I was going to, like I said, ride for McKinney, but with the numbers we have right now, not going to happen. We need to burn McKinney as part of this all or nothing strategy, and Cook is going to set us off. He's not going to last long, so let's get McKinney's gel going as well. Cook needs to come out front and then back off a little bit. Get your guys supporting in line and not burned out. And there we go. We're to the front, right where we need to be. Under 10K to go. Cook, not much of a downhill guy, unfortunately. Not much of a flat rating guy either, so he's not lasting long. And there you go. There's that reason why we needed McKinney, because 8K to go, and he's already having to take over. He's not good on the downhill either, but he's excellent on the flat. Luckily, we're not at 3%, but I think we're about to, when we turn left here, go over that 3% mark. 6K to go. Moreno, let's get his gel going, and Eric Butt will save his just a hair longer for that final bit. So we are out front. We're looking strong. There's that descent over 3, back under 3, so back into the flat rating. It was not long, so luckily nobody was able to take advantage of his poor descending. But McKinney now pushing that tempo, under 3K to go. Coming up on it. Coming up on it. Here we go. Right-hander, and this is that final climb. McKinney, I want him to attack. He's going to full-on sprint. 1.5K to go, and now it's Moreno. Moreno now making his push. 1K to go, leading out Eric Butt. And there's that cobbled section. And here goes Eric Butt. He's got a real challenger in Mataway. Oh, he's got to fade too early. He did not have enough. I don't know if that's his cobble rating just eating him out. He's not even going to get a top 3. Wendling takes the win ahead of Mataway. We were side by side with Mataway. We absolutely could have won this thing, but he's just not strong enough. That's why I wanted McKinney behind him, hoping that he might have a little something left and then could make that sprint push like Wendling did. But nope, not to be. Top 5 on this stage. Beat out a lot of good riders. Moreno got 8th. Barguil was only 10th. I mean, it's a good sign when you can beat those kind of guys. Latour was 15th. DeWolf down at 16th. I mean, a lot of good riders. Umberto Zeta. Man, he should be winning every one of these stages. You know, we never see Zeta win. We never see him win. Oh my goodness. You know how many wins that guy would have in his career if he was still with us? But that's always the case. We'll kind of see if Rodriguez is still born to be winning races this year. That's what I'm curious about. Because Zeta, Tantoni, those guys aren't winning squat since they've left the team. Zeta's in and around the top 10 all the time, but never getting victories. And we won all the time with him. And he's developed quite a bit since then. I'm guessing he's fully developed at this point. He's been with Sunweb for 4, 5, 6 years now. It's been a while. Stage 2, it's a sprint stage, and I didn't bring my full contingency of sprinters today for this race, but I think we're in okay shape. We certainly have a chance. There are some good sprinters here, though, so that part's not going to be the easiest thing to deal with. We still have 15K to go, so we're not pushing too hard right now, as some of the sprinters are wasting energy right now trying to attack for a sprint point. So Jakobsen, Denise, those guys just hurt their chances a little bit by putting that effort in with just 13K to go. And if we make life difficult, they might not be able to catch up or fully recover at least. There was a little bit of uphill through that too, so a little extra effort needed to put in that kind of time. Johnson, just go 99 for a little bit. Give me your full blast, 10K to go. I think that's good enough to get Cook going because, again, I want to make life difficult on those sprinters. Now, I do have my top 2 sprinters. McKinney and Rajkovic are here. -1, +1. So they're not great on their race day condition, but they're okay. The weather's terrible, so a lot of riders are going to have poor race day condition, and that's a good sign for us. And we're already at a point where I can go 99 the rest of the way, 7K to go. And even Johnson has recovered ever so slightly, so it's actually probably not a great sign if that's already the case, but 6K to go. Gel up for everybody. 5K to go. Cook leading this thing out quite well. Moreno, 4.4K for him. You know what? We're 4K out, but he's not doing much damage. We are going to go sprint for him for now. Okay, Eric Butt, 3K. We're at 3K. I mean, we're at that 2.5K coming up. There's 2.5K. Gio on the go, doing the lead out. He's in a strong position, but we've got some competition for sure with 1K to go. And Rajkovic with his sprint, McKinney with his sprint. We're going to get a top 3, but will Rajkovic get the win? Will we get a 1-2 out of this? Oh, hell yeah. Oh, excellent result. Rajkovic and McKinney 1-2 ahead of Van Aert. Saro. Told you, those guys expended energy. Those guys who went for that sprint point 13K out, no higher than 5th place. Guys who didn't go for it were the ones who contended. Van Aert certainly had a chance, but he didn't have the lead out that we had. And with that excellent lead out, we are able to grab a 1-2. Rajkovic, that little bit of red bar left. McKinney had used his up, but only just before the finish. As we were able to go fairly late, we had strength. We were in the right position. And Moreno, not a great sprinter, and so he was sprinting and he was going his full maximum pace, but doing very little damage to his teammates behind him, and that helped us stay near the front. You saw that sprint team on our left-hand side push and giving Van Aert that lead out that he would eventually get, or I think it was Van Aert on that left side. We'll see. You see those guys, yeah, making that drive, but as we come through there, we're side by side, and our sprinters still just had that little bit more left that the others did not in that final push. So nice to not just be out front and hang on, but to actually be near the front in a good position, about fifth wheel overall, and actually be able to beat other sprinters head to head. Some of that comes down to energy consumption and having a little bit left in the tank compared to them, and a lot of that comes down to timing and that proper lead out. But yeah, it's nice to not just be out front and try to survive and hang on, but actually win a proper sprint. Finally, sprint team's getting there, the classics team's getting there, and we've gotten our stage victory. So Paris-Nice, check that one off. Next episode's going to be all about Treno Adriatico. We don't need to come back for Paris-Nice. We're not in it for the GC. We don't have any GC guys here. We've already got our stage win, so yep, all done. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.